Cryptoslo, cryptocurrency news and investing.
Cryptoslo with more crypto gains. What's going on, guys? Tonight's video title: DAPPS need to be economies, not just games. So, if you haven't been following it, I've been in the Dragon Castle Telegram, and let me just tell you, it is a complete mess. I'm not fudding, I'm just kind of, putting the facts out there. But basically, what we have going on here is Kiwi listed it. So, as they say, you've been kiwied. The buy volume is drying up, and this thing has gone from 9, 10-ish all the way down to 3. So, yeah, big drop. The reality is new platforms, dApps, keep coming out, and they have a token, and the miners and the gamblers hit it, Kiwi lists it, and then the price plummets. Now, from an economic standpoint, I don't understand why people would sell at such a loss on their token, but it happens every single time. And, if there's any developers listening out there, listen, you have to think of the economics. It's not just enough to come up with a super cool game and deliver it. I mean, Dragon Castle delivered almost a flawless launch, lots of incentives, the EXP. The one flaw, well, there's a couple flaws. The problem is they didn't change the economics of the game. They say, okay, well, we're going to have an RPG game soon. Well, what do you mean soon? We know in crypto land that even a day isn't soon enough for a lot of people that want their divs. So, I mean, there's multiple things actually. So first, the dividends. You can unfreeze your DC and dump them on Kiwi. There's no tiered system of freeze. There's no loyalty for holding your token for a period of time. So this to me is pretty basic, and I would think that the devs would have figured this out by now, that you have to have some kind of tiered freezing system or something which incentivizes people to keep their tokens frozen. Number two, I guess there was a bunch of airdrops and stuff. People can dump these airdrop tokens right to Kiwi. Now, they're going to argue and say, hey, those people can do whatever they want with their token, and it's a very small supply. But the problem is even if it's only a couple thousand, it gives the perception to the community that there is not a lot, that it's not worth much. I mean, when this game first came out, people were mining the crap out of it. I mean, it was super duper popular. And literally now, I mean, the divs have just dramatically dropped. Like, I was getting like 1,000 TRX on my 1,000 DC, and it's just totally dumped. I mean, I went in because it was fun. I liked the fortune wheel. They did everything right, but the base economics were wrong. You got to have a tiered freezing system so that people will incentivize to not sell their tokens. And yeah, it's just not enough to have a cool game. So what am I going to do? Well, I was in the Telegram, and they're talking all kinds of crazy talk up in there. They are talking about turning the game off and blacklisting the token on Kiwi. So, what does that say to me? Well, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm not fudding, but I'm probably gonna unfreeze and sell as soon as I can, because one thing's for certain: if you blow your momentum on your launch, it's very hard to come back after a setback, and for people to play the game like they did when it first started out. So yeah, again, I'm not fudding. I'm just I think the price of the token is going to go. I mean, basically, if you take the game offline, people aren't getting divs, and you're just screwing everybody over. So, with that being said, I'm out. So, what are the important lessons that can be learned from this? The next DApp that you get into, think about the economics and think about what makes it different from the other. Just because it's a cool game doesn't mean it's something that you want to get into. So, just think about it. What are the long term? What are the incentives to keep people playing the game? I think that's the number one problem statement that a lot of these devs have not answered is, how do you incentivize people to play the game and keep playing the game? Because honestly, the miners are kind of ruining it for everybody. But I'm a miner myself at heart too, but I still enjoyed the game. What's my ROI on this? There probably isn't one. I probably spent 5-7k TRX getting my 1100 tokens, but a lot of it I used divs at first because the divs were really good, and I just kept playing the divs over and over. And this is cool that they're coming out with another game, but I still leave with my EXP of 20, so I'm not too sad about that. And just something to think about before you get into that next DApp. Make sure they have the economics right if you're going to go into something or go hard on it, so that you don't get burnt. This is Cryptoslo. If you're not talking gains, then we're not talking.